What are we doing that actually creates value for customers when we sell, and how do we do more of it? Well, what are those things? We had a chance to test this out by a study we did in the US, where we asked 1,100 customers from a whole variety of industries which span products and services. Has anyone ever made a sales call where you would have written them a check? And amazingly, 81% said yes, it's happened. I'm very cynical. I would have thought it would be a lower number because there are so many talking brochures out there that create no value. But we then asked them, well, what happened? Tell us about it. And we did an analysis. The first thing we discovered was that talking brochures created not only zero value, in fact, it was negative. When we asked people, okay, what takes value away? What they said was the chief thing that takes value away is people who come and pitch their product and try and show us how it's better than their competition. I can find that information out on my own time, more objectively and more conveniently than having to spend a lot of time listening to a talking brochure. And so out of 1,100 people we interviewed, there was nobody said the way this person talked about how they were better than the competition was so great. It was fascinating. It was beautiful. It was poetry. You know, I would have written a check just to hear them say we're better in this and this and this respect. No one. Zero. Yet the fact is, in most of your organizations, 40% of your salespeople are pure talking brochures right now. Why are they that way? Because that's what worked in the past. That's what the sales job used to be. And they're going and eroding value all the time. It doesn't work. So what does create value? Well, the first thing is, we'd find a lot of people would say, well, I don't want information about their products, but I do want information about trends, about my own competition. I value salespeople who are going around my industry and have their ear to the ground and are hearing what's going on, you know, who's going where, what kind of big contracts are in the offing, what's the sorts of things that are happening. And they wouldn't write a very big check for it, but it was a great value add that the salespeople brought. Above that was the idea that the salesperson is the customer's advocate. A lot of people we talked to said the reason why this salesperson creates value for me, why I'd write the check, is if I want a rush order, they'll get it for me. If I want a change of spec of some sort, they'll try and make it happen. They're on my side. This is perhaps why study after study has been showing recently that top salespeople are nearly always at least partially at war with their own companies because they're playing this role very well. They're in there batting for the customer. Above that, perhaps the most important thing of all was the role of salespeople as problem solvers and customizers to come up with a solution that you couldn't just get off the shelf. That is perhaps the most crucial of all sales roles, to a point where, you know, I would say the sales job is no longer about persuasion, it's about creative problem solving. If I had to say what should you look for in a good salesperson today, that would be my number one. Absolutely, the creative problem solver. Above that, we had 3 cases out of 1,100 where the customer said, we totally changed our strategic direction as a result of this meeting, and it would have been worth a huge check. Now, it's up at the top, but it's not the most important, because even if you are working for a McKinsey, you can't do that every time you meet with a customer. It's rare. Great work if you can get it. But the reality is, down at the level of problem solving and customizing solutions, we can nearly always do that. That's the central skill of selling today.